Have you ever pondered upon the intricate and shadowy world of the American Mafia? A world shrouded in mystery, hushed whispers, and a complex web of power dynamics, the American Mafia has long held a certain mystique that's simultaneously intriguing and unsettling. The American Mafia, often merely referred to as the Mafia, is a secret criminal society that emerged in the mid-19th century in Sicilian immigrant communities. Over the years, it has evolved into a powerful and influential entity, with its tentacles reaching into every corner of American society. It's a world that lives by its own rules, operates under its own code of conduct, and exists in the shadows of the law. But why should we care? Why should we want to understand the world of the Mafia? There's a simple answer to that. The American Mafia, for better or worse, has had a profound influence on the socio-political landscape of the United States. It has shaped communities, influenced politics, and left an indelible mark on the American cultural psyche. By understanding the Mafia, we gain a unique lens through which to view and comprehend significant aspects of American history and society. However, it's important to note that there are many misconceptions about the Mafia. It's not all sharp suits, lavish lifestyles, and thrilling car chases as often depicted in Hollywood films. The real world of the Mafia is far more complex and nuanced. It's a world of power, fear, loyalty, betrayal, and survival. It's a world where the lines between right and wrong are often blurred, where the boundaries between legality and criminality are constantly pushed and redefined. So, let's set aside the stereotypes and the sensationalism. Let's strip away the glamour and the myth to reveal the true face of the American Mafia. A face that's as much a part of America's history as it is its underbelly. A face that's both fascinating and horrifying in equal measure. So, let's delve into the fascinating history and evolution of the American Mafia. The roots of the American Mafia trace back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries. During this period, a wave of Italian immigrants, seeking better opportunities, made their way to the New World. Among them were individuals who would go on to form the Mafia in America. The birth of the Mafia in America was driven by a combination of factors. First, the socio-economic conditions. Many Italian immigrants lived in poor, crowded neighborhoods, facing harsh discrimination. The American dream seemed unreachable, and the government was largely unresponsive to their plight. The Mafia stepped in, offering protection and a semblance of justice, albeit through illegal means. The second factor was the Prohibition era. The nationwide ban on alcohol in the 1920s created a lucrative black market. The Mafia, with its already established networks, seized this opportunity and quickly became the main supplier of illegal alcohol. The profits from this venture allowed the Mafia to expand its operations and influence. In its early days, the American Mafia was a tightly knit organization, structured along the lines of traditional Sicilian Mafia. At the top was the boss, or capo, who had the final say in all matters. Below him were the underboss and the consigliere, or advisor. Then came the soldiers who carried out the Mafia's criminal activities. This structure, coupled with a strict code of silence known as omerta, ensured loyalty and discipline within the ranks. The Mafia operated under a unique business model. It offered services that the government couldn't or wouldn't provide, such as protection and dispute resolution. It also engaged in various criminal activities, including gambling, loan sharking, and racketeering. All this was carried out with a veneer of respectability, with many Mafia members maintaining legitimate businesses as fronts. The Mafia was not just a criminal enterprise, but a complex social organization with its own rules and hierarchies. It was born out of necessity, grew through opportunity, and thrived in the shadows of American society. Its story is a testament to the complexities of the human condition and the lengths to which people will go when pushed to the margins. From the 1920s to the 1960s, the American Mafia enjoyed what is often referred to as its golden age. During this period, the Mafia saw an unprecedented rise, fueled by the era of Prohibition. As the government tried to dry out the nation, the Mafia was there to quench America's thirst, turning illegal alcohol distribution into a lucrative business. This was the beginning of the Mafia's expansion into a wide range of illicit activities. As the rivers of bootlegged liquor began to flow, so did the cash. This influx of money allowed the Mafia to diversify their criminal endeavors. They branched out, getting their hands dirty in everything from narcotics trafficking to loan sharking, illegal gambling to labor racketeering. The Mafia became a shadowy, omnipresent force, a parallel economy thriving in the underbelly of American society. But the mafia's influence extended beyond the underworld. They infiltrated unions, corrupted politicians, and even had their hooks in Hollywood. This was an era where the mafia's tentacles reached into every corner of American life. They were untouchable, or so it seemed. However, the mafia's golden age couldn't last forever. By the 1960s, their unchecked power began to wane. Several factors contributed to their decline. The relentless pursuit by law enforcement, particularly the FBI under the direction of J. Edgar Hoover, started to pay off. High-profile prosecutions began to dismantle the mafia's infrastructure. Public sentiment also shifted. The romanticized image of the gangster began to fade as the brutal reality of their crimes came to light. Moreover, generational changes within the mafia itself also played a part. The old guard, with their strict codes of honor and omerta, were being replaced by a new breed of mobster, less disciplined and more violent. This led to internal conflicts and power struggles that further weakened the organization. Despite this decline, it would be a mistake to think the mafia completely disappeared. Its influence may have diminished, but it adapted, evolved, and found ways to survive. The mafia's influence waned, but it never completely disappeared. In the 21st century, the American mafia is a shadow of its former self, but it is not completely extinct. The mafia of today is a far cry from the formidable force it once was. The days of Al Capone and Lucky Luciano are long gone, but the underworld continues to thrive in subtler ways. The mafia's influence has been significantly curtailed thanks to tireless efforts by law enforcement agencies, stricter laws, and the rise of new criminal organizations. Yet, the mafia still exists, albeit in a much diminished form. The five families of New York still operate, focusing on more low-key activities like loan sharking, illegal gambling, and labor racketeering. These operations are often run with a more business-like approach, with the mafia investing in legitimate businesses to launder their illicit gains. The mafia's influence has also spread beyond the traditional domains of crime. In recent years, there have been reports of the mafia getting involved in cybercrime, including online scams and identity theft. This is a significant shift from the old-school methods of organized crime and illustrates the mafia's ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Despite its decreased presence, the mafia's legacy looms large in popular culture. Movies and television series continue to romanticize the mafia, often painting a picture of a glamorous and thrilling life of crime. This portrayal is far from the reality of the brutality, ruthlessness, and perpetual fear that characterizes the mafia's world. The government and law enforcement agencies continue to crack down on mafia operations. The Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, better known as the RICO Act, has been instrumental in this fight, allowing prosecutors to target entire organizations instead of individual members. Yet, despite these efforts, the mafia persists. It's a testament to the resilience of this criminal organization and a reminder of the challenges that still lie ahead in the fight against organized crime. While the mafia's power has diminished, its legacy continues to fascinate and intrigue. The American Mafia, once a formidable criminal enterprise, has undergone significant changes over the past century. We've journeyed together through this intriguing world, tracing its roots, its golden age, and its decline, all the way up to its current state. Let's take a moment to revisit what we've learned. Our journey began with the birth of the Mafia in America, an entity born out of necessity and survival, but that quickly grew into a force to be reckoned with. The early 20th century saw the Mafia rise to prominence, fueled by the economic opportunities of Prohibition and the need for protection in immigrant communities. This was the start of what many consider the Mafia's golden age. The illicit empire stretched its tentacles into every corner of society, from bootlegging and gambling to labor unions and politics. However, this golden age was not to last. The second half of the 20th century ushered in a period of decline for the Mafia. Law enforcement agencies, armed with new tools and legislation, began to dismantle these organized crime syndicates piece by piece. Fast forward to today, and the Mafia is a shadow of its former self. It's no longer the omnipresent, all-powerful entity it once was. But that doesn't mean it's disappeared completely. The Mafia still exists, albeit in a much more subdued and understated form, adapting to the changing times and finding new ways to survive. This history of the American Mafia is not just a tale of crime and power. It's a reflection of the societal conditions that allowed such an organization to flourish. And it's a story of resilience and adaptability, a testament to the human instinct for survival. The Mafia story serves as a stark reminder of the complex relationship between society, crime, and power. It's a reminder that crime is not an isolated phenomenon, but a symptom of deeper societal issues that need to be addressed. And it's a reminder that, in the face of adversity, humans will always find a way to adapt and survive. Before we close off, we want to invite you to become a part of our community. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the intriguing world of the American Mafia and want more content like this, don't forget to hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Your support allows us to continue creating engaging and informative content. We also want to point out that our exploration of intriguing topics isn't limited to the world of crime. If you're a car enthusiast or simply curious about the automotive world, we have a sister channel you might enjoy, Automotive Odyssey. It's dedicated to all things automotive, from the history of classic cars, the technology behind modern vehicles, to the future of transportation. Remember, knowledge is power, and there's a wealth of knowledge waiting for you to discover. So whether you're into crime history, automotive technology, or both, we've got you covered. Stay curious, keep learning, and until next time, stay safe out there.